in this video, we're working on forks, which is a tactic where you move a piece and attack two or more pieces at the same time. This is for basically beginning students, people that only know just barely how the pieces move and not much more. So rated between 100 and 800 by chess.com. Yeah, beginning forks. You can pause the video if you hear me call on a student. I call on a student, say, hey, go ahead and answer. And if you're not ready to answer, you could always pause the video, think about it a little more as you like, or fast forward. But yeah, let's take a look at some forks together right now. White to play, and we can play a fork. This is a pretty devastating move too. As always, we should be thinking about checks, captures, loose pieces. You do want to always keep those things in mind. That helps you evaluate a position. There are no tactics if there are no checks, there are no captures, there's no loose pieces. But in this case, we do know there are tactics. So white to play here and attack make a move that attacks two pieces at the same time. Oh, hey, Lillian, welcome. As you look over a chess position, you always want to begin by considering every checking move. That's the most important thing to consider. Checking moves against yourself, for example. It looks like they could take our queen with check. That is an option. But we also have some checking moves that we can play. And one of these is actually, if it is white to play here and you're looking for a fork. So a fork is where you move a piece. It attacks two or more pieces at the same time. That's what we want to happen here. So white to play. So again, a fork is where you move a piece. It attacks two or more pieces at the same time. This one is actually a checking move. One of the most important things you always have to think about in any position. So all chess pieces can fork. That's the tricky thing about forks, is you don't know which pieces, which piece is going to be doing the fork. With like a pin, it could be a bishop, it could be a rook or a queen, and that's it. But with forks, anybody can do a fork. Does anybody see a fork here? It is a checking move. So I was given a hint. It is a checking move. Does anybody see a way that you can attack black's king and attack another piece at the same time? Jason and family, go ahead.
Put the queen to c5.
That's true. That is true. That is technically a fork. You're checking the king, and you're attacking the queen at the same time. You can't make You can't make that move though, because the queen is pinning your queen absolutely to the king. So it's actually illegal to play queen to c5 because you'd be placing your own.
Then we can put the bishop to c5.
That is exactly right. Bishop to c5. What are they going to do about that?
Move their king.
They could move their king. Okay, let's say they move their king, and then what would you do?
Then
we're imagining that you play this move, bishop to c5. They then move their king over. What would you do? So who can tell me, what should we do? So if I like this move, by the way, I do like this move a lot. If they move their king, what move are you going to play next? And so we should always consider checks. The next thing to always consider is captures, actually. You always want to consider capturing moves as well. So after we play this checking move, after we play bishop to c5 check, let's say they move their king. So now it's our move again. We're imagining black has moved their king. What do you play, Lillian? Go ahead.
I put the queen
go ahead.
e3.
Queen to e3. You wouldn't be allowed to move your queen to e3. This move, I think, is what you're saying. Move your queen over to e3.
Yeah.
Because their queen is still absolutely pinning your queen to the king. So you can't do that. Let's hear from Jason's family. Go ahead, Jason and family.
Capture the queen.
How would you do that? So yeah, you're playing this move here. They move their king. Who captures the queen?
Hmm?
Who are you going to capture the queen with? You could capture with your
The
queen.
queen.
With your queen?
Yeah. That's what I would do because I just want a queen.
Okay. Okay. Um,
Queen for
does anybody else have another move that they might like to do? There's a better move here. So, yeah, so it was suggested to go ahead and capture the queen, but the knight is defending, right? So down 2 over 1, it does the knight, and the knight is defending his own queen. So if you play bishop here, and we imagine they move the king, we wouldn't want to take the queen with our queen, would we? Wouldn't we want to use somebody else? Well, so they don't do that. I should have. So if they would have moved their king, we would have captured their queen with our bishop. Bishop is only worth 3 points, right? Bishop is worth 3. Our queen is worth 9. Now, if we capture their queen, that's not what happened in the game here. But if we captured their queen and they capture back with a knight, that's fine. We could capture the knight also. But yeah, that's not what happened here. Instead, they capture our bishop. And what should we play here? Who can tell me? What move should we play now? Open for anybody to tell me. Are you raising your hand, Jason? Oh, yeah, you are. Okay, go ahead, Jason.
capture the queen with a queen.
Yeah, capture the queen now. Yep, with check. So pretty devastating. So that was a fork because so the queen is guarding that square, the bishop is guarding that square. So white has 2 pieces controlling that square, and because of that, we can move there, and there's really not much they can do about it. We go here, and no matter what they do, then they're going to lose their queen, so they might as well capture. And they get a 3-point piece, but we get a 9-point piece, which is certainly to our advantage. Okay, again, the tricky part about forks is that any piece can do a fork. That's what's tricky about it. So, yeah, we're looking for a fork here, and yeah, this is an unfortunate situation for white. Probably a dangerous move in any case. Black's king is already castled. Which is, so he's a lot safer over there. White's king's still in the center of the board, and I don't know. I guess he could castle queen's side here. King always moves over 2 spaces, and then the rook goes on the other side. So maybe it's okay. He's almost ready to castle that direction, but it turns out it's a mistake. Jason and family, what do you see?
Can you put the queen to capture the pawn?
Well, the queen could capture the pawn. That's true, and that's not bad.
Let the queen to capture me, and
then you could capture back. So you do have 2 pieces controlling there, but there's a better way to play that. Yeah, go ahead, Jason's brother, or the other person with their hand raised. Go ahead.
Can you put the pawn to the?
Yeah,
to
this
the,
is a pawn fork. This is a pawn fork. So now the queen defends.
Yay.
Yeah, and so they have to move their queen. Otherwise, yeah, we would have taken the queen, and then of course we can take the knight. Important thing to note is that our queen is defended by the rook, because that's probably coming. Yeah, we pretty much have to. I was thinking, can we get away with captures? Yeah, no, we probably should just capture here. And yeah, they're going to take our pawn there, but yeah. So the pawn fork is one a lot of people struggle with. So nice job, Jason and family there. Good eye. Yeah, a pawn fork is when there's pieces that are right next to or on the same rank. They're on the same number, one apart. They're on the same color. You should be thinking about pawn forks. And yes, so this was a pawn fork. One of the many forms of forks. There's 6 different chess pieces. They all fork differently. That was a pawn fork. Okay. So we're in check here. So we're playing for white. Go ahead, Jason and family.
Knight to e6.
Knight to e6. We can't play that move. Because
Oh,
we're in
in
check right
chess.
now. Of course, in chess, you always must get out of check. So it is the case. Anytime you're in check, you can't do any. You can't make a move that doesn't get you out of check. So actually, I'm going to play this first move. I'm pretty sure this is what we've got to play. And we're going to lose our queen, but there's actually a fantastic fork now. This chess piece is just a notorious forking piece. People tend to miss this guy with his special moves. And yeah, there's a devastating fork that white can play here. I see that Jason and family probably knows it. I want to give everybody else a little more time. You guys have been just knocking them dead. And I'd like to hear from maybe Lillian or Matthew if you see this devastating fork. Again, most important thing we should always consider in every chess position, checking moves. Whether they're checking moves against yourself, which definitely important to think about, or checking moves against your opponent. And this move here is a checking move. It is white to play, and I'd love to hear from either Matthew or Lillian on this one. I'll call on Jason and family in a moment if yeah, let's just give them a shot at it first. Go ahead, Lillian. Sweet. What do you got?
The rook, the rook goes in, and no, Sheila.
Rook to c1, attacking their queen. I think it's just a blunder though, because yeah, the rook would not be defended and dares challenge the mighty queen. She'd be like, "Rook, I have the same powers as you. Get off the board." Yeah, she would capture the rook. So that's not going to work. No. Let's hear from yeah. Go ahead, Jason and family.
Put the knight to e6.
Knight to e6. Yes, knight to e6 check is correct. So the knight goes up 1, 2 over 1. And that is check because of, yeah, up 1 over 2, right? But we were also down 1 over 2 attacking the queen. So, yeah. So what went from, looks like black was winning, but finding that fork, now we are in the driver's seat here, winning this game. Okay, that was some forks. Well, thank you for hanging out there with me and checking out those forks. Please like, subscribe. I will be posting videos almost daily, game reviews, tactics. So, yeah. Bye-bye.